Hey y'all, welcome back. Happy New Year. This is our first live video of 2024. So now I know that we talked about last week, we talked about basically what it takes to really, hey lady, what it takes to really get focused on your year. We talked a little bit about how to plan out your promotional calendar so that you have enough space and you're not wearing out your audience with constantly promoting. And we talked about a lot of things when it comes to planning for your year. I'm so happy to see y'all. Hope you had a beautiful Christmas and a wonderful New Year. I'm excited. Like I know, I think Natasha. It was Natasha and I. We were messaging back and forth about the excitement that comes with the new year. This is one of the best times for me. Like other than like the holiday season and my birthday, like the new year is like my favorite because I feel like that's God's way of giving us all a new start. I mean, of course, every day, every minute, every week, every month is a new start, but I feel like there's something so amazing about making it into a new year. And I feel like it's God's way of saying, hey, you know what? Let's put that year behind and let's focus on making this new year your best year yet. So I get super excited when it comes to the new year. I always order a new planner every year. Yes, I know that's right, Natasha. Grateful for a new start. So I always order a new planner, and that's exciting too. When I get a new planner, and I was messaging Joyce the other day, Natasha, I was messaging Joyce the other day, and we were talking about like cracking open a new planner and how exciting it is to just to open up a new planner. And you got this whole year, y'all. It's like my daughter, she likes to draw, so I'm always buying her like sketchbooks, and she's actually pretty good at drawing. She's so artsy. But anyway, I always buy her a sketchbook so she can draw on. Well, when she opens up those pages are blank, and she can create whatever she wants to create. And so that's how I feel about opening up a new planner. It's blank, and you can create whatever you want to create for yourself for that year. So I'm super excited. I got some really awesome stuff coming up. I have an in-person event coming up in April. I've been kind of chatting a little bit about this with some of my clients about coming to meet me in Atlanta in April. It's going to be so exciting. It's a 2-day event. And if you're interested, just shoot me a message, let me know. But I'll be reaching out to some of you guys like, hey, you want to come hang out with me in Atlanta for a couple of days and let's talk about your dreams. Let's talk about your business and let's get you moving forward. It is an accelerator. So it's an intensive. So we're going to be putting out so much information. So, but you're also going to leave with resources. I believe y'all, when you go to an event, I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of over like the motivational type stuff. Like I feel like if I need a motivational speaker, I can just go to YouTube, right? I can just go to YouTube and get a motivational speaker. But I'm not saying that the motivation isn't good. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is, if I'm investing, I'm overpaying, dishing out my money just to go and get inspired. And then when I leave, that kind of dies down. I am into like strategy. If I'm investing, I want to walk away with stuff that I can actually apply to my life and to my business. So I'm looking for I'm looking for strategy, I'm looking for behind the scenes so that I can go and implement that stuff for my own business and for my own life. So that's what our business accelerator is going to be like. You're going to leave with a lot of things that you can actually go and implement. Yes, you're going to be inspired, but you're going to walk away with stuff that you can actually implement, that you can put into action. As a matter of fact, I'm very action oriented, and some of the things you're going to be able to do while we're actually there in person. Right. Give me something, right, Natasha? Give me something to help me change my right now. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So I'll be sending out more information about that. I also am sending out information about our upcoming Bible study. I'm going to be talking about how to unleash the power of the prophetic voice of God in your business. Good morning. Hey, bro. I'm going to be talking about how to unleash the prophetic voice of God in your business. Of course, it's going to apply to your life as well, but in your business, because if you saw my post the other day, I talked about how it's not being taught as much. And, I've actually helped people to walk out their spiritual gifts. Okay, so the way that I teach on the prophetic is, in a nutshell, is that I know that some people make it so complicated, right? If you can prophesy, or if you can operate in your spiritual gifts, some people make it seem like it's really complicated. Like, and y'all, let me tell you, when I teach on the prophetic, in a nutshell, what it really means, what it means to be prophetic is just, it just means that you hear from God. Okay, that's it. So I know, Natasha, we're gonna go in. I'm so excited. I'm hyped too. So prophetic really just means you hear from God. And so if you are a believer, I believe that every believer needs to be able to hear from God, right? And so, right, Natasha, they make it so deep, and it's really not, it's really not as complicated as people make it seem. And if you are a believer, every believer can hear from God. And if you can hear from God, then you can act, right? If you can hear, if I yell for my kids right now and I say, go and put some dog food in the bowl for Biscuit, right? They can hear me, and therefore they can act, right? And so when you release the prophetic, or when you use your prophetic gifts, your spiritual gifts, that's exactly what it is. It's you hearing from God and you acting. So I've helped people to tap into their spiritual gifts and activate those gifts, because I don't think there are many churches that are teaching on this. I know that there are some, but I feel like we need more churches who are giving people the space to practice. Now, I was blessed to be able to have the space to practice, because I had spiritual parents who took me along with them and it just threw me out there. After, of course, after the training, after I was trained, I went through years of training. And I remember one day I was, my our spiritual parents had invited us. When I say spiritual parents, I just mean mentors, um, mentors in the Lord. And so they invited my husband, and they invited us to come somewhere with them, where my spiritual dad was going to be speaking. And so all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he's preaching, and then out of nowhere he says, Shanta, come up here and help me prophesy. And y'all, I was like, what? Like, on the inside, I was like, what? Like, I did not feel ready. Um, I felt like, did he really just say that? And then on the other side, I'm like, well, he just called me out in front of all these people. Like, let me just go up here, because I don't want to make a scene. So let me just get on up here. You guys, I was terrified, because even though, yes, I had been through the training and things like that, I was scared, y'all. I was scared. And another part of like operating in a prophetic is, and I'll talk about this more in a Bible study, is that sometimes you don't know what you're gonna say until you get the microphone and open up your mouth, right? And so for me, that that's look, I I'm always going back and forth with God about this stuff. Believe it or not, I don't share this that often, but I don't like to prophesy. I don't like it at all, because it's such a vulnerable place to be in, because you really have to depend on God. The other thing, you guys, we're going to go into detail about the Bible study, but I just want to give you like a little preview. So we're going to talk about your spiritual gifts and all of those things, and talk about how to tap in them, how to activate your spiritual gifts. But it's also really important to understand, you guys, that everybody who says they're hearing from God is not. Okay. And that's crucial. But we'll go in more into detail about that and talk about how to tell the difference. So the Bible study is coming up. The in-person event in Atlanta is coming up. I'm working on a new freebie, and I have a new workshop coming. Y'all, it's just so much new stuff, so much excitement that I am pumped about. As you can see, I'm bouncing up and down on my couch. So I'm in my office, y'all. So sometimes if the scenery changes, y'all, it's just I'm in a different area in my office. So right now I'm on my big green bouncy couch, and you guys, I've been struggling because it's so plush, and it's very comfortable. But you guys, like, some of my stuff, like if I drop something, it rolls down into behind the pillow and all the way down into the crevice, y'all. I have lost a lot of stuff. I got tweezers that I can't get to. I have a makeup brush that I'm trying to get to. One of my favorite ink pens, y'all. I'm like, I'll have to turn this couch upside down. But anyway, you can tell by how I'm bouncing up and down on this couch how excited I am about this new year. I thank God for bringing us all to this place, right? We know that 2023 brought a lot of stuff. My mom passed away in 2023, and I know a few other people who lost their mothers in 2023. So we know that 2023 may have brought us some loss. It may have brought some surprising things, some unexpected things, but I thank God for where we are now. And the truth of the matter is, you may not be where you want to be, but at least you're not where you were, right? So we can all be so thankful for that. Right. Right. Exactly, Natasha. Yep. And then sometimes if it doesn't make sense to your brain, it's hard to release that because you're like, this doesn't make any sense, right? You want everything to make sense and everything to flow together. That's my biggest struggle. But it's so funny, y'all, because I usually only talk about this stuff with my husband. And when I was just talking about this with him a few days ago, and he said, "Well, you know what?" He said, "You can't even tell that you feel like that when you release the word." And I'm like, I mean, I got to do what God is telling me to do, right? So that's why, y'all, you will not see me up there doing anything. If I am, it's because I've been wrestling with God, but I'm not up there just to be up there. Some people are. Some people just want to be seen, right? No, that's not me, because I don't even want to be up here in the first place. Even when I do have something to say, look, I don't want to be up here in the first place. I can sit back here and hide in the back and mind my own business and be just just as content. So y'all, we talked about like really working on your 2024 plan so that you can be profitable. The thing is, y'all, you got to plan for profitability. You have to plan it. Yeah, you can wing it out here, but you're not going to be as profitable as you could be if you take the time to plan. So, because we talked about planning for your year, I want to take a little bit more time to go into detail because we did like an overview of like making sure you got white space, meaning making sure you have some space in your calendar where you are not promoting anything. You're just nurturing, you're just providing content, you're just giving people valuable information. And we talked about that because you don't want to wear your audience out with constantly marketing, right? Right. It's always a wrestle. You don't want to wear your audience out with like marketing all the time. You guys, now I I'm on a lot of people's email lists, but I unsubscribed from somebody one time. And it's not that, I joined this person's email list because I was really interested in what they had to say. Like I was interested in their what they talk about, what they teach. But they every single email I got from them, it was them selling something. Like every single email. And I was just like, wow, like, yeah, I'm a buyer. Like you guys already know, I'm an investor. Like I invest, I buy things. I'm always buying somebody's course or something. Like I'm a lifelong learner. But this person, like every single email was them selling something. And so for me, I felt a little bit frustrated because I'm like, well, I'm not really getting any value, right? And I'm saying this so that you can understand how how our ideal clients are thinking on the other side of this, right? So for me, I was somebody's ideal client, but they never gave any value, right? They only wanted to sell. And so I just unsubscribed because I'm like, I'm not getting any value. And I'm the kind of person, if you give me value, I'm going to want more. If you're giving me information, if you're helping me to change my life or my situation, I'm going to invest on a deeper level. That's just how I am. And it doesn't take me long to figure out if I want to invest or not, right? If I'm showing up, if I show up to your free webinar or your free whatever, your conversion event, all you got to do is nail your pitch. Because if you do a nice job on your pitch, because if I show up, I'm already invested, right? I'm using my time to be here, and if I'm there, most likely I have the problem that you solve, and I'm ready to buy when you make the pitch, right? So listen, we've got to be able to provide value to our audience because many times, you guys, that's their way of acknowledging you as an expert, and it gives them time to discover this. It's like a discovery phase type of thing where they get to discover if you're the right person for them. And I told you guys before, I'm not interested in working with anybody who I'm not called to. I don't look, if you're not the right fit for me to teach you, I'm not. jumping to take your credit card. Like, I have turned people away because I know that we're not a good fit. And I talk about, I'm very transparent when it comes to the things that I've experienced, so that my clients, and so that you don't have to experience some of the same things that I have experienced. So you want to have that white space where you are providing value. You're not selling anything. You're just showing up. You're serving your audience. You're being the awesome person that God has called you to be. And so now I want to go into a little bit deeper on some time management tips that you can take to help you to do the things that you put on your calendar, because this is important, you guys. A lot of people, they have these plans of stuff that they want to do for the year, but they don't actually plan to make it happen, right? So, right. Natasha said, okay, but I know that's right. You are not about to aggravate me, because I will unsubscribe, I will block. Listen, my block game has been strong, right? And it's still it's still strong. So, and listen, I will block people on email, I will block people on phone, text message. You are not about to mess with my space. I have a good life, right? And if you're not adding to my life, look, you gotta go. And I mean it. I mean it, right? I do give a little grace to people, people that I love. I do give them a little grace, but listen, at some point your time is up. And when I'm done, I'm done. That's it. Right. I don't need money that bad. I don't I don't need it that bad. Right, Natasha. I always say that. Be blocked and be and be blessed, right? I'm always saying that. Be blocked and be blessed. Um, God got you. Be blessed. Go on your way. Like my granddad used to say, go on now. um, so when it comes to managing your time, you guys, you put your stuff on your calendar, but then you got to go and you have to make it happen. So that way it's not just a dream. Like, if you're like, okay, I want to write a book. Okay, I want to create a course. I'm actually creating a course right now. I'm actually in the process of creating a course right now. And so, I have to have, my time blocked out to create it, right? So instead of me just saying, oh, I want to create a course, I have to actually make time to create the course. Because if I just say I want to create a course, that's just a dream. If I don't block the time to do it. And remember when I said, y'all, we make time for the stuff that's important to us. When I'm talking to people and they're like, oh, I can't be at this thing because I got dinner with my friend and then I got a game that I'm going to. And I'm just like, listen, something has to go. When you get serious about your business and doing what God has called you to do, something has got to go. I promise you, whatever you're dreaming about for your business, you can make happen if you are willing to put the time to it. The problem is what we're talking about today. This is the biggest issue that I see with entrepreneurs, is just not taking that time because we're busy. And in our minds, we start to believe the lie that, oh, I don't have time for that. Yet you do have time. You just got to prioritize, right? Something has to go. This is what entrepreneurship is about, right? We already know it's about sacrifice. And sometimes you got to let something go, right? You got to let something go so that you can focus on what really matters. Your business has the power and the potential to put you in a different tax bracket, to give you more options and opportunities, not just for you, but for your family. You can literally change your entire family from you taking the time to do the things that you have to do, y'all. This is so important. It's so important. You have to take the time out. That's what's going to set you apart in this season. I'm telling you. You got people who they and I see this all the time. They be like, "Oh, I don't, I believe in resting, and I do too, but some people rest too much." Okay? I remember, I think was it Grant Cardone? I can't remember. I was reading this book. It may have been 10X, but I was reading a book and I think it was from Grant Cardone. I think I got to go back and find this now, y'all, cuz I'm trying to remember which book this was, but basically the person who wrote the book was saying that his friend, I think it was Grant Cardone, his friend contacted him and was like, listen, I need to make this certain amount of money by this certain time. And and he was basically asking a friend, like, what he was gonna do and all that. And he was like, well, it's Sunday, so I'm gonna rest today because it's Sunday. And basically he told his friend, listen, you haven't been doing the work. Resting on Sundays is for people who've been working all week. He's like, you haven't been working all week. And I'm like, that and that's the thing that I'm getting at, right? You rest because you rest when after you work. Get your work done and then you rest, right? I'm not kidding y'all. Like I see people who they're in the same place they were 2, 3, 4 years ago. And they're on social media and they're saying things like, well, I don't believe in doing all this and doing all that. I believe in rest. And I'm like, I can tell. I can tell what you believe in because your business is still in the same place it was 4 years ago. And so, yes, you absolutely want to get your rest, but we have to put the work in as well, right? Listen, I'm in rest mode right now, but I'm taking it easy. I'm just now kind of getting back into the swing of things after after my kids have been on break, y'all. They're out of school until next week. I feel like these kids get too much time out of school. But anyway, that's a topic for another day. But I'm really getting back into the swing of things. Yes, I took my time off. I got my rest on, but I'm not staying in rest mode, right? I gotta work. I got stuff I gotta do. I got people that I'm called to serve, right? And so you gotta be able to find that time to rest, but you also need to make sure you're getting the work in. This is why what we're talking about today is so important, okay? So when it comes to your time throughout the week, let's talk about a few time management strategies that are going to help you accelerate your business forward. And some of you may have heard me talk about this before, but hey, it's good to get a refresher. So the first thing I want to talk about is time blocking. Okay, time blocking is it's a timeless principle that will take you to new heights. If you block out time for your day to work on the things that you need to do for your business, I'm telling you, y'all, I can't express this enough. And I know you could probably hear the excitement in my voice. I'm hoping that I'm imparting this to you and you're going to take this and run with this. When you block out time, it's something about not just the time, but it's something about the intention. When you say I'm taking 1 hour today and I'm just focusing on this one thing, the intention behind the time, you block that time out and then you put the intention with what you're going to do in that time. When you get to December of this year, your year, when you look back over the year, it's going to be a culmination of what you did with your time. Okay? Whether you're working out, whether you're eating healthy, whether you're meal prepping, I want you to really think about what you're doing with this time. You guys, we're still early into the year and my life is already changing because I'm thinking more about, okay, what am I doing with my time? And where do I want to be by the end of this year? And when I do that, I snap. If I'm in a place where I'm just like, okay, I've got some downtime. Now, what do I want to do with this downtime? Do I need to rest? And yes, sometimes I do say, okay, you know what? I'm going to rest. I'm going to relax on the couch and watch something. Or I'm going to, last night, you guys, I was watching a show, but I was up marching in place, right? Because I'm like, listen, I'm getting my 10,000 steps in, right? So lately I've been doing somewhat of 2 a day workouts. So I do in the morning, I work out in the mornings and I mostly do like a strength workout in the morning. And then at nighttime, I do like a walking or like some type of cardio. But y'all, like I do it right in my house. Right in my house. So instead of me just laying on the couch watching TV, I had the TV on and I was in my living room marching in place and in burning calories, but also getting, being active and leveling up on my activity because I want to, even though I work out, I want to add more to what I'm doing to stretch myself out of my comfort zone because I pretty much do the same stuff, but now I'm doing different things and really stretching out of my comfort zone. And I may even be hiring a trainer soon. So this is one thing that I'm saying, listen, this is what I want to do with my time because at the end of the year, I want to look back and say, you know what, I was able to accomplish these things. Okay. So time blocking is when you look at your day and you say, okay, this is what I'm doing with my time today. So I'm taking 1 hour today to do this, and then I'm gonna take another hour today to do that. But the thing about time blocking, you guys, is you got to keep the commitment to yourself. If you say, I'm doing this at this time, show up for yourself, keep the commitment to yourself. You have to be in a place where no matter what, this is what you're doing. If you have to put your phone in another room or turn it off or log off social media so you can focus, you got to do what you got to do. I know for me, I like to get snacks. I like to have like, if I'm working, I like to have like some snacks or some coffee or some tea or something because I like to sip while I work or snack while I work. So you got to do what you got to do to help yourself to stay focused. So blocking out time. So let's talk about some different time blocks that you can implement during your week. So one kind of time block that you can do is you can do. I like to call it a power hour, and your power hour doesn't have to be 1 hour, but it can be 2 to 3 hours where you do this once a week, where you block out 2 or 3 hours, and you say, okay, this is my power hour, and for the next 2 hours I'm knocking out this and this. So it's like it's a bulk block on your calendar, and you're saying, okay, I got 3 hours, I'm knocking out all these things. And this is really great for people, especially if you work a full-time job or even if you work a part-time job. On Saturdays or on Sundays after you go to church or whatever you do on Sundays, you can take that time and say, you know what, I got a couple of hours today. I'm going to sit down and get this stuff done. I blocked out that time, and now I'm going to show up. I'm going to keep that commitment to myself. And what I've learned is when you give yourself a certain time frame, a lot of times you get it done, because if you know you only got 2 hours, you're racing to get that thing done. And it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Remember when I said done is better than perfect? It just get it done, right? You can go back and tweak it later, but just get it done. Done is better than perfect. So you want to have at least one of those a week where you're able to sit down and knock out a large amount of your tasks. Imagine if you got 3 hours on a Saturday or 3 hours on a Sunday or even 2 hours, whatever you can give, and you plan all of your posts for the week, right? You sit there, you type all of your posts out in the week. And that's another thing that we're going to talk about. That's called batching. So you can sit down and knock out all your posts for the week, or you can sit down in one sitting and create a freebie. I always encourage my clients, if you're creating a freebie to give away, you should be able to create that freebie in one sitting. Now with with AI, you can probably get it done super fast and get it out pretty quickly. Now for me, I'm kind of picky with how I use artificial intelligence. So for me, the freebie that I'm working on is not something that I'm using AI for. And the reason why is because um that's going to be one of the differentiators, right? This is not something that was created by AI. This was created from boots on the ground experience. Okay. And sometimes that's attractive to people. They're like, okay, this didn't come from a machine. This came from a person who actually is in the trenches, just like I am. Somebody who is giving me a report from boots on the ground experience. Now, I'm not saying AI is bad because I do use AI, but I use it for certain things. So you can, when you block your time out, keep your commitment to yourself and make sure it is uninterrupted and you're not being distracted. Okay. You'll be surprised at the stuff you can create when your focus is uninterrupted and when you have intention behind what you're doing. I'm telling you, if you do this, you'll be amazed at what you can create. Even by the end of the quarter, you'll be amazed at what you have done and what you have created. So you want to think about your power hour for the week, how you can block that time out and knock out a large amount of your tasks for the week. Okay. So I also mentioned batching. Batching is when you sit down and you do several iterations of something. So for example, if you need to schedule your post for the whole week, maybe you sit down for an hour and you just type out a post for each day. This is great for those of you who work full-time jobs. You could be working your job and you can schedule those posts to post for you. So you could be working, making money, and then your post is going out for you. And then on your break, you can take a few minutes, and if people have commented, or you can go back and engage with them, because that's important as well. So batching is it. So let's say you do podcasting. If you batch your podcast, you can sit down for a certain amount of time and get a certain amount of podcasts done. Let's say you take one Saturday every month and you record your entire all of your podcasts for the month. If you release one podcast a week and you sit down on a Saturday, you can do 4 podcasts. So you have a podcast to go out every week and you only have to do that once a month. This is great for when life happens. When something happens and something comes up, you get a sick kid, or you got to take a trip, or you have to go do something for a family member. Guess what? Because you've batched all of your podcasts or your blog posts or however you're putting your content out, that content can automatically go out. So for me, my primary source of content is going live. And if I can't go live, guess what I do? I go to a previous live video that I recorded and I rerun that. That's because I have so many videos like going years back. If you went to my YouTube channel, you would see so many live videos that I've done in the past. I can pull from one of those and rerun that. And I usually always leave a note and say, hey, you guys, I can't be live with you today, but here's one of my favorite videos. So I go through and I look at one and I'm like, oh, that was a good one. Let me load this one up and rerun it. But that's only because I have so many that I can pull from. So doing your content on a regular basis has its benefits, you guys. So batching saves you from when things come up, and it helps you to stay focused. When you are wondering like how people are doing this and they work a full-time job, this is how they're doing it. They're time blocking and they're batching. And then many times, you guys, if you work a job, don't don't underestimate the power of having income coming in, because you could hire a virtual assistant to help you with these things while you're working. Okay. So the other thing when it comes to managing your time, we talked about time blocking. We talked about making a batching within your time blocking. So let's say you want to do some batching. Some people take a whole day and that's like their content day. I have how to do a content day in one of my products, but you know what? If you want to get the Natasha, I think you already have it, but if you're interested in how to do a content day, just shoot me a message. I will send it to you. It outlines how to do your content and how to execute a content day. So if you're like, I want to block out a Saturday and I want to record all my content for the week on a Saturday, or my content for the next 2 weeks on a Saturday, you can do you can record, you can do photos. Some people go out and they'll just say, you know what, I'm going to go out in town today. I'm bringing my teenager so they can take pictures of me out around the town, and that's going to be my content for the week. You can do whatever you need to do. You can set up your tripod and with your ring light and take pictures, whatever it is that you need to do. But you can batch it all on one day and then schedule it throughout the week so that you're not frazzled, right? You've got a game plan. You're not all over the place. You've got things planned and lined up for yourself. And so this is how you become you become successful, but you also become disciplined, right? Y'all, when I tell you that this thing, business has really changed my life, it has changed me as a person, because I'm looking at not just the things that I'm doing, but who am I becoming while I'm doing these things? When you stick to something and you ride that thing out and you see the fruit of it, it changes you. It it changes you as a person, it changes your life, right? So think about the things that you got to get done and stick to them. Ride this thing out, okay? So we talked about batching and time blocking. I talked about your power hour, but let me talk about a couple of other blocks that you want to have on your calendar. So you also want to have a block for your breaks, right? Plan your breaks. For years, I would go and do things and I would feel like so overwhelmed because I'm like, I know I'm getting my nails done, but I really need to be doing these 10 things. Or I know I need to do this, but I'm over here, doing this. And so I would kind of be all over the place because I needed to do things for myself and do things for the house. Happy New Year. Do things, for the house, and my kids needed things and stuff for my husband, and just I would be all over the place, you guys. And so what I found is that if I am getting my nails done or getting my toes done or at my waxing appointment, I'm not really enjoying it because I'm thinking about the other stuff that I should be doing. So that changed when I actually planned for it. So when you have a break block, that's for you to do the things that excite you, things that inspire you, so that when you go back to work, you're feeling inspired and you're feeling revived. This is important because sometimes when you're feeling burnt out, you can't focus, you can't get anything done. Put your break blocks on your calendar so you can take those breaks, whether it's taking a walk, going to get your nails done, going out for a cup of coffee, going somewhere to see some beautiful scenery, going to the store. You know, sometimes I like to go to the store and walk around without my kids just because, if they're at school. Sometimes I just like to go out without them because when I'm with them, it's like every few minutes I'm looking around, I'm making sure they're okay, making sure nobody snatched one of my babies, making sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. But my kids are really good, so they don't really act up too often. It's very rare that they even get in trouble. But it's stressful. Like y'all know what I'm talking about when you go out in public with your kids. And then my kids, you guys, they every time I go out with them, they make my bill go up because sometimes if I'm in a grocery store, they're asking for stuff that I wasn't planning on getting. I'm like, I'm going in here to get some almond milk, and then that's it, right? And then they're like, well, can we get these cheeses, and can we get this, and can we get this, and can we get this? And so by the time I leave, my bill is $50 higher than what it would have been if I would have left them at home. So a part of my breakout is I like to just go to the stores and just walk around without little fingers reaching for stuff, right? So that for me is like, it's relaxing, it's peaceful, and plus I'm being active and getting my steps in. So you want to make sure you have a breakout block plan for things that inspire you, right? So when we look at the scriptures, there's a reason why the scriptures tells us what to think about. Think on these things, right? Think about things that are beautiful. Think about things that are inspirational. Think about things that make you feel awesome, right? There's a reason for that. And so when you do your breakout blocks, that's you saying, hey, listen, I got time for myself. I got time to do the things that I need to get done. Okay. Um, and then the other thing you want to make sure you have time for is plan for the little things that you have to do that like responding to emails, making phone calls. That could be like a whole block. Like as a matter of fact, I have a block that I have to do right now. I have a couple of phone calls that I need to make, and I have a few emails that I need to send out, and things like that. So responding to people's DMs, emails, and things like that. Have a block for that because those things are important as well. But yet, if you're doing that during your let's say you're in your power hour, right, and you're trying to knock out all these tasks. If you're stopping and you're responding to emails during that time, that's going to take your focus away. It's going to steal your focus. It's going to steal your energy. But if you know that you got a block set for that, you can keep working because okay, I'm working on this right now from 9 to 12, and then I'm going to do my breakout block. I'm going to lunch or do whatever I need to do, and then at 2 o'clock from 2 to 3, I'm making all my phone calls and responding to all of my emails. So in your mind, you'll know, okay, at this time, this is the time that I set aside for that. I've learned that things can break up your flow. Like when you're really in your zone and you're getting things done, and then you get a call or email. I don't even answer my phone if I've got something that I'm doing that's really important. I barely answer my phone anyway. As a matter of fact, my phone updated and my voicemail changed. So my voicemail used to be full and people could not leave me a message. And that's the way that I wanted it. So people be like, "Oh, your voicemail is full." And I would be like, "Yeah, I know." It's full on purpose. But my thing updated, and now people can leave me a message. So I'm kind of salty about that. But anyway, I don't really answer my phone or text messages. Messages. Let me tell y'all, the fastest way to get me is on Facebook Messenger. My clients know that. Even faster than my the text on my phone. Facebook Messenger is the fastest way to get me, right? And so that's why sometimes I have to block people from Facebook Messenger because I know when my Facebook dings, I'm paying attention. And the reason why is because that's how I communicate with my clients. So if I get a message, sometimes they may be in something and they may need something or have a question. And so when my Facebook Messenger dings, I'm looking to see if it's one of my clients. So, but those things can be distracting if you're in your flow, if you're in your zone. So you want to make sure you're not allowing things to interrupt your zone. So for example, like right now, my kids know, hey, they know I'm doing a video. They're out of school right now. They don't go back until Monday. So they know when I'm on with my clients or when I'm, doing things, if I'm recording videos and stuff like that, and they do not bother me until I'm done. But they're at that age where they're pretty self-sufficient. They can do a lot of things on their own. So the other thing, finally, you guys, when it comes to really focusing in on your time, is the last tip I want to leave you with is making sure you're doing your the things that require the most effort and the most energy out of you. Do those when your energy is at its highest. Okay, so for me, my energy is highest during the morning. So at around about 2 o'clock, I start to get tired. I start to my energy starts to decline. So my most important things, I'm making sure I'm getting them in before that time, because I know that my energy is going to drop. And so because like if you're using your brain all day, you guys, people underestimate the power of brain, the power of using your brain, because that takes energy. When you're thinking and you're problem solving and you're creating, that takes a certain level of energy out of you, right? So when you're doing things that require a lot, you make sure you do those things when your energy is highest. Now for some people, their energy is highest in the afternoon, and for some people they light up at nighttime, right? Depending on the season, sometimes I'm a night owl, right? Sometimes I may be up late and I'd be like, you know what, everybody is asleep, let me go in here and do this post or do this, create this thing, right? So you want to make sure that you're doing the most important things when your energy is highest. So for example, we talked about having a block to do your small tasks like emails, phone calls, and things like that. Email, that's something that you can do when you don't have to, when your energy is not as high, right? So you can have your important stuff planned for when your energy is high. And then once your energy starts declining, like for me, for example, after 2 o'clock, then okay, now I can send out these emails, because that doesn't require so much thought and so much effort and so much energy. Because when I work with clients, you guys, one of the biggest things that I get paid for is my ideas, my strategies, helping my clients with their messaging, copywriting. That requires a lot of thought and a lot of energy, because when I'm with a client or when I'm with my clients, all of my energy is going into helping them to do what they're trying to do. Okay, so when I meet with them on Tuesdays, I make sure I'm rested, because I know, okay, look, in the morning my energy is high, and so tonight, I know I got to get on my clients, so I make sure I'm rested up. But here's another thing that I do. I will tell them, and they understand this. I thank God for my clients. They're so good about this. If we're on a Tuesday night and they're asking me something or they need help with something, I will tell them, give me a little bit of time with this, and I will get back to you tomorrow. Because I know that if it's late, I know that my energy is low and I'm not able to really help them with now I could just throw something out there, right? But that's not my style. I really do want my clients to win. So I will tell them, you know what, let me sit with this for a little bit, and let me get to it when my mind is fresh. And I do that. So the next morning I'll get up and say, okay, now my mind is fresh, my energy is high. Now let me create. Let me create for my client, and then I'll send them the results of what I created. So those are just some things that are going to help you guys. You got to get keen on your time this year. This is a great time to talk about it. We're at the top of the year, so it's a great time for you to get a handle on your time. And most importantly, remind yourself throughout your day, throughout your week, okay, what am I doing with my time? And is this reflecting my goals, right? And I'm not saying don't rest, because you absolutely, you got to rest, right? That's very important. But make sure that you're getting your work in as well, and you're not resting to the point. Like some people, they will take a TV show and they will just sit down all day and binge, right? That's okay if you got your work done. If you got your work done, sometimes I'm like that. Sometimes I'm like, it's been a rough week. Sometimes during the week, my TV doesn't even come on during the week. And so sometimes, like, if I'm like, okay, I've been really grinding this week, you know what? I want to find a good show to binge, right? I want to find something I can just kick back and do, like a little staycation, order in and just chill. That's a form of resting, right? But you already know, and some of y'all have heard me say this before. Don't be binging if your work is not done. Okay. Make sure your work is done first, and then you make sure you rest. All right, you guys. I'm cutting off just at 45 minutes, y'all. I've been trying so hard to make sure these are under under an hour, and I've been doing great so far. Um, so again, event coming up in Atlanta in April. We're going to be at the Marriott in Atlanta. I'm super excited about that. Let me know if that's something that you want to do. Bible study coming up. I'll be releasing a date for that very shortly. And just let me know if you're interested in any of those things. I know, Natasha, I've got you down. I've got a few more people who are like, hey, yes, let's do this Bible study. So if that's something that you want to do, let me know. Okay. And just stay tuned, you guys. I've got so much more stuff coming out that I'm excited about. And I know that you're going to be excited about. So when I create stuff, I'm always creating stuff with you in mind. Okay. Hey, Renee, thank you. Have a good one. Renee says yes for the Bible study. I got you. I got you, Renee. So, all right, you guys, this has been beautiful. I hope you have a great Thursday and a beautiful weekend. And I'll see y'all back here next week at the same time in the same place. Have a good one, and I'll see you again soon.